I never much care for it, though. You get about your holiday. Yeah, you're right. Holiday occasions usually different. Does anybody need to see? I've looked at them online. I don't think so. I'll look at them, but I'll look at them.
Oh, you know what? I have a copy. Sorry about that.
You got ready to wrap it in?
Yes, but. Oh, whenever you're ready. Sorry about that.
10 seconds. Okay, the clock says it is 10 a.m. Call the meeting to order. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Mr. Conrad, would you lead us to the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Again, thank you, everybody, for joining us this morning. Would you please call the roll?
Yeah, Mr. Lindsay.
I'm here.
Mr. Kent.
Here.
Mr. Conrad.
Here.
Mr. Grant.
Here.
Okay, can I have a motion to adopt the agenda? And Mr. Grant, did you want to add something to the agenda?
I would like to add a short correspondence from the Secretary of State's office.
Okay, why don't we put that in just after public participation? Can I have a motion to adopt the agenda with that amendment, please?
So moved. Second.
Move Mr. Combs, second Mr. Conrad. Any further discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Kent.
Yes.
Mr. Conrad.
Yes.
Mr. Grant.
Yes.
Mr. Lindsay.
Yes. Other attendees, we have Mr. Hicks is with us. I know him. Ma'am, would you just identify yourself for a minute?
Lauren Kluge.
Sorry, what's your last name?
Kluge.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, we are at public participation. Each speaker is a maximum of 5 minutes to address the board. And I assume, Mr. Hicks, that is why you are here. So
I'd like permission to take more than 5 minutes because I have multiple topics I'd like to address.
no, that's going to have to be a board decision. Our policy is 5 minutes. We start deviating from you. We have to start deviating from anyone who asks. Is there a motion to give Mr. Hicks more than 5 minutes? Hearing none. You have 5 minutes, Mr. Hicks.
Okay, and I'm sorry, when does my 5 minutes start?
When you start speaking.
Okay, so I'd just like to reflect the insanity of what you just did. There's important matters that I had to raise, and I should be being thanked for bringing them to your attention, not treated like a derelict perhaps for coming here to speak. So I've given you a set of charts. Apparently I'm going to get through them because you also won't let me use this beautiful TV here, so I had to print everything out to talk about 4 issues. Dropbox video fiasco is the first one. This is an image of the Dropbox video. It's from more than 100 feet away. It's almost imperceptible. If a car pulled up for a voter to vote, you would not be able to see the Dropbox. It's entirely ridiculous. The most ridiculous aspect of it is that you only keep the video for 15 days when there is a 60 to 90 day election cycle, and that video should be kept for 1 year. And that video should be taken from the Dropbox, not from across the 100 feet away on the back of the county building. I had a couple pages I can't get to because I'm not allowed to talk very long here about how it's taken. Now we're on day 20 of me requesting 1 day of Dropbox video when you have an idiotic retention policy of 15 days. Quite interesting, it takes longer than the number of days of your retention policy to get the video. Mr. Shrive said maybe I could get it on the 21st, which was yesterday, but I didn't get it. I don't know why. I didn't get a follow-up saying it wasn't going to be ready, but maybe because Mr. Shrive is too busy hosting political fundraisers for candidates and opining on his Twitter page about who he endorses and doesn't, which we'll come back to. I think we need to have a common sense plan around the Dropbox. A camera needs to be at the Dropbox. Early voting video has to be retained for a year. There should be monitors showing that the drop box is being watched in the lobby of this building and in the director's office. And frankly, the drop box should be live streamed so that senior citizens in our community could monitor it. Second topic I had is the voter download mess. Our voter download file from the Secretary of State site is perennially behind all the other counties in our Senate district and perennially screwed up. The aspect of it that has not even gotten fixed at this point is the school district part of it. I requested the school district be fixed back in November of 2021. And I'm gonna forward up all the way to June 3rd, when Director Height sent me an email relating to this idiotic issue of we can't seem to get the school district right on our voter records, that she does not have a time frame. I do not know what steps are to reconcile the issue. That is 204 days after I raised the issue. So everybody watching knows our vendor is Election Systems and Software. It's a bigger company than Dominion, and apparently they can't get our voter records right. I have a common sense plan for this too. Make election system and software accountable in a real way, and it could be done with a very simple letter. I can help you write it if you need. It says, fix our voter database before our next upload, or we're going to do a national press release telling people that you can't get our voter database correct in Clermont County. It's absolutely ridiculous that we let this issue linger for 6 months. Now, third point, politicization of BOE. I bring up a lot that Mr. Strive is a political animal, hosting fundraisers, endorsing candidates, and he is the prosecutor's representative for the BOE. He lives in Hamilton County. Let's imagine for a second that Joe Dieters would hire Mr. Strive in his prosecutor's office. It would never happen, but let's imagine it did. Let's imagine then that he was assigned to the Board of Elections. It would never happen, but let's imagine it did. There would be outrage in Hamilton County. I would really like to know, Mr. Lemke, why you don't raise any issue about having a very politicized person be your representative. I just want to go back in time. When Ernie Ramos was the chief civil prosecutor, he delegated to Mary Lynn Burke to be your representative. Mary Lynn Burke was not a political animal like Brian Schreiber. Julia Carney, your ex-director, now works at the prosecutor's office. Why isn't she the person that is representing the Board of Elections from the prosecutor's office? Common sense plan, switch the Board of Elections legal counsel to Julia Carney. Last thing, weaponizing the First Amendment. So I ran for Central Committee, and I used Let's Go Brandon sign as a key part of my campaign, both in locations, in events, et cetera, et cetera. There has been a completely false narrative that has been put forward, including the Board of Elections director being part of it, that I behaved in an inappropriate manner at the polling location. Here's pictures of people at our polling location. I have lots of pictures. I have lots of audio. So when people want to put forward a false narrative related to me, they should make sure that they're very clear on what they're going to state, because I'm used to it. So what happened on election day on May 3rd is the Board of Elections got weaponized against me. My signs got removed, but other candidates' signs did not get removed outside of the marker area where candidates put signs at election day. How could that possibly happen? I end up having the police called on me by the director. How could that possibly happen? It is a completely false narrative. And as I said, I have lots of photos, lots of videos, lots of audio to refute.
Your 5 minutes have expired.
Okay, well, my 5 minutes was interrupted by somebody's phone ringing.
No, actually, it's not.
I last the timer. That was 5 minutes.
So I want there to be either a hearing on me or a letter of apology from this Board of Elections. Thank you. And Rick, mute your phone.
Thank you.
That's
Mr.
the timer,
That was
sir.
the timer.
That is the 5-minute timer.
And the way that you respond to me is just indicative of the attitude of the board.
Thank you, Mr. Grant. Mr. Grant, do you have something you wanted to?
We do.
Oh,
Do you have?
oh, I
anything?
love it.
No, do you
Anything you want to say?
Public comment. So I can come every month and spend 5 minutes.
Yes.
Do you
Yeah,
have
and
something
I
you
can
want to
tell
tell
my
us?
friends.
Do you have something you want to tell us?
Yeah.
You've got 5 minutes to do it.
And then what happens with the stuff I tell? It lives permanently here? Or can you like make motions and you, because I guess I'm trying to detail what he's asking for.
Well,
What if
we
you
don't, I don't want to start getting.
Yeah, I'm not
into
doing crossfire,
questioning.
crossfire, I don't.
Or
you want to make a
or you
statement.
make motions. If you've got something you want
Is
to
this
bring
counting
up.
against for 5 minutes or is this
I-
another
5 minutes. Yeah, I'm just, I'm learning.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Nothing to
That's
say.
very nice.
You
No,
got
that's
anything you want to say?
No.
Okay. Mr. Grant, did you have something you wanted to?
I just wanted to read the correspondence that came to us from Mandy Grandjean, who is the Deputy Secretary of State of the state of Ohio. As part of the comprehensive after-action review of the May 3rd primary election, our election team met and discussed our county's performance. We had nothing but positive feedback to offer during our discussions with the Clermont County Board of Elections. We want to commend you on the excellent performance, even under extreme difficult and constantly changing circumstances due to redistricting. We still encourage each board to conduct their own internal after-action review, but you may be proud of the fact that May 3rd, 2022 primary election, the decision to elect administrators continues to set Ohio apart as the gold standard. Thank you so much for your hard work and service to the voters of Clermont County. Our office looks forward to working with you for another secure and accurate election cycle. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Mandy Grandjean. And that came to our director from the Secretary of State's office. I will also add to that that we did have an audit, which was 100% accurate of our election. So thank you for a job well done, Madam Director, and Mr. Deputy Director, and to our staff.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Grant. Has everybody had a chance to see the minutes of our election day meeting of May 3rd, 2022, our regular monthly meeting and opening of the official canvass on May 24th, 2022, and our certification meeting on May 27th?
I have.
Anything we need to discuss regarding any of those minutes? Hearing nothing, would I have a motion to approve and adopt the minutes, please?
So, second.
Okay, moved Mr. Grant, seconded Mr. Conrad. Any further discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Coon.
Yes.
Mr. Conrad.
Yes.
Mr. Grant.
Yes.
Mr. Lundy.
Yes. Has everybody had a chance to look at the bills?
I have.
Any comments, questions about the bills?
I have on, did we run into on the red locks? Should we be getting more than just 500? Because it takes, how many red locks does it take to lock down on machines?
We actually switched to the ones that are metal.
Oh,
So
okay.
they're actually staying on
All right.
the better, so.
Good. All right. Very good. That's what. Thanks.
Any other questions regarding the bills?
I get the contract for the red board. All we call them.
I'll move we pay the bills.
Mr. Grant moves to pay our bills. Is there a second?
So
Second by Mr. Conrad. Any further discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Coon.
Yes.
Mr. Conrad.
yes.
Mr. Grant.
Yes.
Mr. Lundy.
Yes. Okay. Madam Director, what do you have to report to us?
To let you all know that we did post a 24-hour look
Oh,
last week. And all pretty much the same as it was in May, without the ones that were in May.
right.
Security cameras, I do want to address that. Chris and I are looking to see about getting a system for our use here instead of going to the commissioners. And we're just trying to find the right equipment that we can.
The right vendor.
The Dropbox, we're thinking about maybe putting some signage out there that just states that, you know, immediate family members are the only people that can drop off, just so that it might discourage people from feeling like they're doing something incorrect.
That's a big question.
Maybe a little sign up.
Now, talking about the box, have you been to any other counties yet to look at how they got their placements done? That might not be a bad idea, because I have, and they have several different ways they do it.
I've been to Hamilton County.
Yeah. Well, Hamilton County, I mean, is a large facility. And, well, have a lot of cameras, but, there's a lot of that that has to go with the placement of it, and monitoring that they get involved in. That wouldn't hurt us any of our 5-year plan.
And last but not least, is the regular monthly meeting day. I think
We're looking at the going to the third
the third
Wednesday of the month.
Yeah. I don't have to
Fine with me.
notify everybody.
Okay, we'll, unless there's a problem with that.
That interferes with summer vacation plans that you have already made. We could do that in September, but otherwise we started in July. I don't have my plans right now.
Vacation, who's getting vacation?
Well, you're not.
I'll second that motion. Vacation, what's that?
What is that?
That would move July to the 20th, Wednesday, and August to the 17th. In August, we'll have multiple meetings. Right.
That's the election.
Yes, we got a whole nother election to deal with.
Say August 17th.
July 20,
Yes.
the regular meeting, and August 17. I got that correct?
With the security camera issue, if it's feasible to have a based on camera in place at the time early election started, good.
Yeah.
If not,
what I would like to have in place.
Yeah, I'm frankly still a little bit concerned about somebody's space on, so, yeah.
Yeah, if we're skeptical about what material I'm putting in,
And
reviewing a video.
potentially ruin ballots, all kinds of things, make it unsafe for our staff. So yeah, I think something that raises the potential of being able to identify anybody might have a deterrent effect. Anything else, Stephanie? Okay, Chris, do you have anything for us today?
No, in essence of brevity.
Well, one question I have.
Yeah.
Briefly now. Briefly. Okay, briefly. Okay. Our webpage. We're getting ready to move along with all that pretty quickly now.
Yes, I had a meeting yesterday with them, go back and forth with graphics, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, I approved the list of pages.
Okay, and that's one of my questions. I want to make sure that that is easy for people to look at. I mean, there's nothing any more frustrating than going to a webpage and say, oh, we got a webpage, and then you get on there, it takes you 40 minutes to figure out how to open what you really want.
Yeah, that's
I want it
why.
to be very simple. I think everybody wants it very simple and easy and all that kind of thing. So you just make sure that gets done. I appreciate that. Get it done as quick as you can.
Yes.
well, can I ask our attorney to
Sure.
as our legal counsel, would you tell us if we're in compliance with state law with our requirements of what we list on our website, along with our voter information, such as the district they're in and things like that? And I know we're working with ES&S to get some updated software in order to have school districts and things, but are we in compliance with the state?
To the board on that, yes. The state law does not require the school district information. There's, I think, 3 or 4 columns. There's different types of school districts. That is not actually required information. I think the Secretary of State over the last few years has been kind of encouraging that information, but there's no directive from the Secretary of State requiring it. There's no legislative requirement. So that what is being sent up and what is being downloaded today from the Secretary of State's website, the Clermont County Board list, is accurate and compliant with state law.
And we are working towards updating.
Yeah.
pretty much been moved along to the next step now, which is where they found, what,
The council suggested to me that we probably ought to do a motion to change our regular meeting date, third Wednesday of the month. So I would ask to make a motion to change our, unless otherwise scheduled, change our regular meeting date for our default meeting date to the third Wednesday of each month.
I'm also moved that we make it the third Wednesday of the month.
Mr. Grant has moved. Is there a second?
There is.
Mr. Conrad, second. Any discussion? Hearing none, would you please call the roll?
Yes, Mr. Penn.
yes,
Mr. Conrad.
Yes.
Mr. Grant.
Yes.
Mr. Lynch.
Yes. Okay, we have the upcoming schedule, including the schedule for 2022 primary election round 2. That's in the agenda. Does anybody have anything else for the good of the voters of Clermont County, Ohio?
Everybody is going to the conference.
that's next weekend,
That is
Next
Thursday, Friday, Monday.
No,
Monday,
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Tuesday
So
is
we're
the,
going up Monday night.
yes,
Is that when you're going up? You going to golf?
with his brother.
Well, let me know. Maybe taking 2 cars.
Yeah.
Okay, save some gas.
All right.
Another electric car.
No, they did where to pull that car out underneath me. So, we're good.
That's pretty bad when you sell your free car.
That was really
Okay, anybody have anything else? Hearing nothing, can I have a motion to adjourn?
so moved.
Is there a second?
There is.
Conrad, any discussion about adjournment? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Penn.
Yes.
Mr. Conrad.
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Lynch.
Yes. We stand adjourned. Thank you all very much. Thank everybody else who was here.
All very much.
Hope everybody has a good rest of your Wednesday.
Yeah, thank you very much. Okay.
Yeah, I think we could meet.
Oh, yeah, I was just, however, I'll call you and we'll work it out, because I kind of want to go up Monday night. And then I want to come back on here. Tuesday night? Yeah.
What time?
When we get done.
What time?
Yeah.
I remember what time the program is on Tuesday. Tim? At the end. What time?
I think it is.